Assalamu alaikum, my dear students. Let me welcome you after session 41 with a heavy loaded data to a session which is 42nd today with no content traditional, except that in this session I will make you hear that how the things are being implemented in the copper sector. What I said in the class, how the people are doing in the organizations. What we learn here in this class, is it really worthwhile to be implemented by the IT sector, by the manufacturing sector, by the service sector, companies in Pakistan and companies across the globe. तो इस पर्सपेक्टिव में आज फिर आप जरा sit down and relax. It is a kind of lecture in which only you will hear the viewpoints of different managers, especially a company. Remember I talked about it? An IT company. We are all proud of a company which has achieved CMMI level 5. This is a standard which is world class. हमने मुख्तलिफ ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस की मैच्योरिटी के हवाले से 5 लेवल डिस्कस किए और क्वालिटी और खास तौर पर आईटी सेक्टर की क्वालिटी के लिए सीएमएमआई के जो लेवल्स हैं वो कस्टमर को ये मैसेज देते हैं कि हाउ द कंपनी is taking care of the process. How the people working in the company are dealing with customers of its company. What is the maturity level of the process? What is the capability of the company, the system and the processes that the demands and the needs and the wants of the customer are they able to deliver? At the strategic level, how the president and chief executive of the company gives commitment. इसलिए कि वर्ल्ड क्लास बनने के लिए it starts from the top. Remember, we discussed how at the strategic level, the top man, the chief executive, must have a vision for the company. And then according to that mission, they should come up with some, क्या चीज भला? Success factors. And then those success factors should be aligned with the performance indicators. तो इस perspective में my dear students, आज जो हमने प्रोग्राम बनाया है कि I would like to take you to visit that company's headquarters in Lahore and to meet the president of the company. And on your behalf, I will welcome him and ask him certain questions. It will give you an opportunity that you learn that whatever is being said in terms of theories, philosophies, and frameworks, is it really the way it is taken up by the president of the company while going to the world class level? And I'm sure you will realize that ISO 9001, yes, it's a level which we call is managed. Level 3, where the processes are in place, system is documented, customer's requirement drives the realization process, measurements are analyzed, tools, yes, are deployed, and then the management review clause asks the top management that you must show that you are continually improving your system and process. यहां तक तो बात ठीक है, लेकिन आईटी सेक्टर के अंदर implementation of ISO has not been as common and as widely applicable as the CMM. क्यों? क्योंकि आज हमने उस कंपनी को विजिट करना है, तो मैं थोड़ा सा आपको बैकग्राउंड दे दूं कि कैपेबिलिटी मैच्योरिटी मॉडल इंटीग्रेशन, टू बिगिन विद, बेसिकली it was a model developed by Software Engineering Institute at Carnegie Mellon University in Pennsylvania, USA. And the reason was that one of the largest customer, one of the largest contractor of the software systems was the Department of Defense of United States. Of course, there were many companies they were dealing with. So there was a need in the mid-90s that there has to be some framework where the process should be in place, system should be supporting that the defects not only be corrected, but it is prevented and eradicated. So this institute came up with a framework known as CMM. Level 1, Level 2, Level 3, same as ISO. Then Level 4 and then 5. लेकिन इसका फ्रेमवर्क ISO से जरा मुख्तलिफ है. देखिए, ISO में तो आपने ये कहा कि क्लॉज नंबर 5, 6, 7 and 8. Then within each clause, there are several sub-clauses. And a company has to fulfill this requirement by addressing to each subclause and sub-subclause and to the clauses, and show that they are committed and continuously improving in their systems, processes, customer requirements, customer satisfaction, and they manage by facts. CMM के framework में each level has certain designated, defined KPAs. Level 1 has no KPA. KPA is Key Process Areas. जुबान जरा मुख्तलिफ है, लेकिन ऑब्जेक्टिव वही है. वहां पर हम कहा करते थे critical success factors. Here we are talking key process areas. So those key process areas, they're called KPAs. KPAs are well defined. In total, there are 18 KPAs if you want to reach at level 5. इसका मतलब ये हुआ कि कुछ KPAs level 5 के लिए होंगे, कुछ level 4 के लिए होंगे, कुछ level 3 के लिए और कुछ level 2 के लिए. But my dear students, for each KPA, चूंकि ये IT फोकस है, इंजीनियरिंग फोकस है, so for each KPA, the way things are designed in CMM, certain key work practices are also elaborated. And then goals are set. And then features are also mentioned. For example, you have to show the commitment. That is a feature. And then, if you don't show the commitment, the goal for that particular KPA will not be achieved. So everything is well knit, everything is well defined. And remember, in the audit process or in the assessment process, whoever so will come to visit and audit will look into those areas and see whether the goals are achieved or not. बेसिक थीम वही है जो वहां पर हमने आईएसओ के पर्पस में, आईएसओ के पर्सपेक्टिव में, या माल्कम बॉलरिज के पर्सपेक्टिव में, या यूरोपियन फाउंडेशन का जो मॉडल है, यूरोपियन क्वालिटी अवार्ड का जो मॉडल है, यू डिफाइन सर्टेन प्रोसेस एरियाज, you show how you are doing, what are the targets, what is the commitment, how the tasks are being done at the strategic level, tactical level, operational level. So customer of the company is not only is happy, satisfied, but is delighted. And if you want to reach world class, then you have to listen what the president has to say. So I will ask some questions from the president of the company at the strategic level. CMM के perspective में जरूर ये ज़हन में रखिएगा, there are thousands of companies in the world, IT companies, but hardly there are 90 or so which has reached at level 5. पाकिस्तान में ये पहली है. Majority of the companies are in United States, but believe me, once you reach at that level, the whole world is open for you. तो आइए फिर सबसे पहले आपको लिए चलते हैं इस कंपनी के हेडक्वार्टर, ऑफिस ऑफ द प्रेसिडेंट ऑफ दिस कंपनी, एंड लेट्स मीट हिम. I'll greet him on your behalf. Let's learn from him what he has to say, how he achieved this status, award, and level, which is making his company world class. And we are also feeling pride of being Pakistanis. टोटल क्वालिटी मैनेजमेंट की क्लास के बिहाफ पर, आप सब लोगों के बिहाफ पर मैं प्रेसिडेंट ऑफ द कंपनी का शुक्रिया भी अदा करता हूं, और आपसे भी एक्सपेक्ट करता हूं और रिक्वेस्ट करता हूं कि यू लिसन व्हाट इज बीइंग सेड केयरफुली, attentively and sincerely, so that when you have to contribute your potential, your competencies to an organization, Pakistani organization, so you will do your best, and naturally then that company, many companies in Pakistan would be known, visible, being seen and being heard at the global level. I'm sure we can do it, you can do it, and we can all make this country prosperous, visible, and a world leader in different sectors of economy all over the world. श्री मौरी साहब, बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया आपका, आपने हमें टाइम दिया कि टोटल क्वालिटी मैनेजमेंट के कॉन्सेप्ट्स को इंप्लीमेंट करते हुए, क्योंकि आप इस कंपनी के प्रेसिडेंट हैं, आपके जहन में what were those plans and what were those targets which you wanted to achieve in terms of delivering value to your customers by achieving this target? Plus जरा हमारे स्टूडेंट्स को ये भी बताइए how easy it was to travel on the journey of quality and to reach at this level, and then how to improve further.
So first of all, thank you very much for having me today here. It's an honor to talk to you and to your students. There were multiple things in our mind. The company we are here today is about 10 years old already. And in our early days, we observed that though we were providing good quality product and services to the customers, but customers were always asking for, some standards and recognition of the processes we have implemented. Plus, एक बात जो और observe की हमने कि we can produce quality product without implementing global standards, लेकिन उनमें consistency नहीं आती. आप हर दफा different quality product produce करते हैं, though it could be of reasonable quality, but उसमें एक permanency consistency नहीं आती अगर आप कोई ग्लोबल स्टैंडर्ड या रिकग्नाइज्ड स्टैंडर्ड इंप्लीमेंट ना करें. तो सबसे बड़ा तो हमने खुद ऑब्जर्व किया ये एक इशू हमारे अपनी अर्ली डेज में. उसके बाद जब हम जाते थे, व्हेन वी यूज्ड टू गो एंड सेल आवर कंपनी एंड द कंट्री वेयर वी आर फ्रॉम, देयर वर ऑलवेज डाउट्स इन पीपल्स माइंड दैट यू कमिंग फ्रॉम अ कंट्री व्हिच इज नॉट रिकग्नाइज्ड फॉर आईटी सर्विसेज एंड सॉफ्टवेयर डेवलपमेंट, how can we believe that you could provide quality product and services from your own country and with no references, no background? So how do you prove that? So all these factors were in our mind when we started looking for global quality standards in IT services and software development. And earlier we looked at ISO 9001, and in 1998, sir, we became the first IT organization and software development company which achieved ISO 9001, which implemented, I would say, successfully in the organization. And interestingly, once we done that, our customers were looking at us with a different light altogether, immediately after that. And following the standard, we were able to reproduce quality work. But as, so you understand, ISO 9001 is a more management standard rather than going into deeper issues of software development. We felt that we need to do better than that. And in 1999, we started looking for a standard which helped us in software development and IT services. And then we came upon CMM at that time. Looking at the history of CMM, sir, it was interesting to look back that Department of Defense, USA, came in with Carnegie University in 1970s, requesting them to produce a quality standard which can help their vendors develop mission-critical applications. Now, this standard goes back a few years, and it was focused to develop, as I said, mission-critical applications. We believe that we develop software of very, mission-critical or sensitive nature. And so we thought, and we believed at that time, this will help if we can implement. So answer to your question that how easy it was very complex. In 1999, nobody in Pakistan has ever looked into CMM as a standard. So there was not much help available at that time for us to, go and train ourselves and, be able to define the processes. So it took us 2 years first to really understand standards. We have to send our people to overseas to USA to get the training first. Done that, then we came back and we worked on CMM level 2. That was a very difficult period. I would say first year was, full year was wasted, or I would say rather we failed not to be able to even define processes. But we don't give up because we believed in the quality standards we want to maintain. So we were able to go back and redefine, and 2001, so we were able to certify ourselves with CMM level 2. So that was the beginning of our study.
So achieving this standard or achieving this level, becoming part of the world-class companies club, how confident you are that your customers, which I believe are international as well as local, would give you strategic advantage and a competitive advantage?
We are already, it's amazing how things change once you complete a standard. Starting from CMM level 2, when we achieved it and we started telling our customer that we produced software and services of CMM level 2, we were taken more seriously at that time. We are talking about 2002, sir, when the industry was in a serious crisis. If you remember that, those were very difficult days. And in those days, in fact, we were able to get some confidence back of the world. And we were able to go back and we were able to explain to them how we develop software, and they would take it seriously. And obviously, we continued to progress into CMM level 3, in 2003, then CMM level 4, in 2004, and then of course, August this year, we joined the elite group of CMMI level 5. And it's interesting how perspectives have changed. The customers globally, internationally, and Pakistan-wise. Certainly, we don't have to now sell ourselves anymore. People are coming to buy from us. That's a basic difference I can explain in very simple terms. People are buying, we're not selling anymore.
One of the total quality principles which we discussed in the class with the students was that having a framework, setting process in shape, the very first advantage which comes is that your customers get satisfied. You delight them, you give them better services, and then at the same time, you improve your processes as well, and your employee also gets satisfied. So do you feel that all these advantages you do get by having this award?
In fact, we get twofold benefit. First of all, customer. There's more visibility in our work. all the templates and processes we use, customer can see them. So first of all, it's not just that I say that I am, customer can see the work coming out of Lahore facility, goes through a process. Whenever we are supposed to deliver something to them or we go to them for studies, they can see a remarkable difference how we approach the work. We follow certain guidelines, certain processes and templates. So that's totally not in a normal circumstances, we don't do that. In a CMMI level 5 environment, you do follow certain guidelines and our people do that. So immediately customer can see that they're dealing with a very serious group of people who are coming to their work. So with that confidence which customer gets, our jobs become much easier. Customers, reliance on us much more. They are willing to open up themselves very quickly, and then they are sharing the information easily. And our people come back with a very good quality information, which helps them build up a total system. That's one area. Second, sir, is the management perspective. Now, similarly to the management, we can also see how our work is done. Level 5 processes provide us a lot of visibility through tools which have been implemented and the technology which bring in to do these statistics. And it's amazing how we can now assess our own work. We can see the fault areas, we can see the problems which can occur in the future. That's all more visible because of this implementation process. So it's not just one side of customers' confidence, it's the management ability to get the work done, and we can see the problems before even they occur.
जी साहब, हमने EQM के स्टूडेंट से ये डिस्कस किया कि वर्ल्ड क्लास लेवल पर पहुंचने के लिए ये बहुत जरूरी है कि टॉप मैनेजमेंट की कमिटमेंट, लीडरशिप और स्ट्रेटेजिक फोकस होगा तो उस मंजिल पे पहुंचा जाएगा, और फिर बियॉन्ड दैट डेस्टिनेशन वन शुड बी एबल टू मूव ऑन. तो इस केस में, आपकी कंपनी के केस में, हाउ डिड इट गो अबाउट?
सर, इसमें अगर आप ग्लोबली देखें, आई थिंक अराउंड द वर्ल्ड देयर आर hundreds and thousands of companies who are working as software houses and providing IT services globally. And they have done a good job. If you look at the number of companies who have been able to achieve from CMMI level 2 to level 5, the number doesn't increase more than few hundred, 300 to 400 numbers. If you go through the Software Engineering Institute site, you will see a few hundred names from level 2 to level 5. Now, what does it explain? Can be two things. Either that it is not important standard, or then it's a complex standard which companies cannot attain. What we have seen, more than commitment, it has to be a belief that you need to implement these standards. That's how you can achieve. We have went around to different customers globally, and I met a few companies in USA a few years ago, and we were discussing quality standards. And I questioned them, why did you not go? You're in USA. Why did you not try to implement CMM standards? I said, look, Salim, we tried. But down the road, it was so complex and time consuming, and financially it was so much for us that we had no choice but to let it go and continue to do the service to the customer as we did in the past. So there we understood very clearly, it has to be management's belief first, why we are doing it, what benefit the company will get it, how the reward will come back, how customer will benefit. So all that has to be kept in mind. Commitment is must, with belief and commitment, because there will be times you will feel why we are doing it because it's too difficult. I'll take a life scenario. We have got customers' work, ongoing work. We are working on the customer's work, and suddenly, there's a pressure to deliver, and you want to cut corners. Just you say, okay, no, let's do it and ship it to the customer because we have few hours to go. But this is where the difficulty comes in. If you have a belief and commitment, you say no. We'll tell the customer, look, we'll take another extra day, but we'll go through the total cycle of quality standard what we have implemented. But this is where the real commitment and belief comes in, which in cases people falter. Many people, they say, no, we cannot do it because it takes away too much time and customers are not happy with us.
I would like to thank you that you spared some time and you shared your experiences, how difficult it was. But once the award is achieved, and you excel and the world see it, definitely you forget those hard nights, long nights, and the long hours which you spend in achieving that standard. Thank you very much once again, and I'm sure the students will get ignited from the statements which they hear from you, and through this interview, I expect from them that they will also contribute their energy, their potential to make this country, its flag, its culture, its potential known and visible in the world. सिर्फ मैं तलबा की तरफ से आपका शुक्रिया भी अदा करता हूँ, और तलबा से भी मैं एक्सपेक्ट करता हूँ कि by looking at your role model and your company's award, they should also get ready to give their commitment, their potential, their energies to the companies they work, so that our country should be visible and should become leader in different sectors of economy all over the world. बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. My dear students, remember what I said? That the top management's commitment, remember C-level managers, their commitment is very important. And once they are committed, you will see excellence in process, excellence in operations, excellence in the products which are delivered in the market. Customers not only get satisfied, they feel delighted, they become loyal. You are in business, company is business, everybody is in business. So thank you very much for listening. And I think, once again, on your behalf, this interview with a top manager, C-level manager, president of a company, you have to keep in mind that one day you may also become president of a company and how you have to act. Thank you very much.
Ji, so my dear students, how was the interview? I hope you compared your notes of the class with what is being said by the president of the company. Remember I said, मंजिल तो मुश्किल है, लेकिन इम्पॉसिबल नहीं है. और फिर आपने सुना खास तौर पर कि टीम के बगैर, working together, spirit of the coaching and mentoring and leadership, it was not possible. और फिर आपने ये भी सुना, without the commitment of the top management, without the involvement of the workforce, it was not possible. तो इस लिहाज से ये मुलाकात आपके नोट्स को भी कंफर्म कर रही है स्ट्रेटेजिक लेवल पर. Naturally, president of the company can only share with you why did he do it, what is the objective of doing it, and what are the doors which will now open for him after getting this award. तो अब इसके बाद नेक्स्ट मुलाकात हम आपकी करवा रहे हैं हेड ऑफ द आईटी एंड ऑपरेशन से, मिस्टर किरमानी. Mr. Kirmani is also working for this company for many years. Since it's an IT company, and naturally this framework is focused towards IT sector, तो आप में से जो नॉन आईटी के स्टूडेंट्स हैं वो भी जरा गौर से सुनिएगा कि जो बिजनेस स्ट्रेटजी है कंपनी की, that has to be aligned with the IT strategies and the operation strategies as well. If that does not happen, then naturally the alignment and the congruency would jeopardize the improvement of the system and the satisfaction of the customer. तो सारे vectors, सारे actors एक डायरेक्शन में होंगे तो बात बनेगी. और इस कंपनी की विजिट से आप ये महसूस भी करेंगे The president of the company, head of IT, head of HR, head of quality, all are determined that reaching at the level 5 was difficult, but to maintaining it rather more difficult. तो आइए फिर मिलते हैं head of the IT and operation, Mr. Kirmani.
किरमानी साहब से पूछना चाहूंगा कि how was your role and what role the IT department
played while aligning the business strategies with the technical strategies while this framework was being implemented and the standard was being achieved?
सबसे पहले तो बिजनेस स्ट्रेटजी ऑब्वियसली एक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन का की कंपोनेंट होता है, उसकी विजन, उसको आगे ले जाने के लिए। बट बिजनेस स्ट्रेटजी को सक्सेसफुल बनाने के लिए ऑपरेशनल या टेक्निकल स्ट्रेटजी बहुत ज़रूरी होती है। सॉफ्टवेयर इंडस्ट्री में हिस्टोरिकली अगर आप देखें तो रेशियो ऑफ सक्सेसफुल प्रोजेक्ट्स ट्रेडिशनली बहुत लो है। एक इंडस्ट्री स्टैटिस्टिक्स ये बोलते हैं कि अबाउट 25 to 30% ऑफ द सॉफ्टवेयर और आईटी प्रोजेक्ट्स they are successful. The rest of the projects are either they are over time or they are over cost. So इस सिनारियो को सामने रखते हुए हमने जो अपनी ऑपरेशनल या टेक्निकल स्ट्रेटजी जब डेवलप कर रहे थे तो वी फेल्ट के हमें एक वर्ल्ड क्लास सॉफ्टवेयर क्वालिटी स्टैंडर्ड अडॉप्ट करने की ज़रूरत है, और उसके लिए हमने CMMI का इंतखाब किया। और हम ये बिलीव करते हैं कि हमने जो अपनी प्रोडक्ट्स और सर्विसेज इस पैराडाइम में रहते हुए जो डेवलप की हैं वो उसमें सक्सेस रेशियो ऑब्वियसली इज वेरी हाई। CMMI is nothing but a collection of best practices that cover the entire software development life cycle. तो उस पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से हमें अपनी बिजनेस स्ट्रेटेजी और जो ऑपरेशनल स्ट्रेटेजी को अलाइन करने के लिए CMMI का रोल वाज वेरी इफेक्टिव और वेरी विजिबल, एंड वी आर वेरी प्लीज्ड कि हमने जो ये स्टैंडर्ड अचीव किया इसकी वजह से हमारे वी वर एबल टू have satisfied customers, we were able to control our cost, we were able to deliver our projects on time, or quality of our project was also acknowledged by the customers.
IT sector में changes are very rapid. So while being the leader of IT and operation department, how do you remain and keep your department focused on quality while taking care of the changes in the IT sector locally and globally?
आपने बिल्कुल दुरुस्त फरमाया जी कि IT सेक्टर ऑब्वियसली इज अ वेरी डायनामिक सेक्टर और इसमें चेंजेस आर ऑन ऑर्डर ऑफ द डे। और इस सिनारियो में आई बिलीव जो हमारा CMMI का जो रोल था, आई थिंक द वे इट हेल्प इट basically created a quality culture in our organization. क्वालिटी कल्चर का ये हुआ है कि जो भी चेंजेस टेक्नोलॉजी में आती गई उसको अडॉप्ट करना और उसको इम्प्लीमेंट करना और उसको आगे लेके जाना हमारे लिए काफ़ी आसान हो गया। इसके अलावा लेवल 5 के CMMI लेवल 5 का एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट KPI है ऑर्गेनाइजेशन इनोवेशन एंड डिप्लॉयमेंट, जिसका मकसद ही ये है कि दुनिया में जो नई चेंजेस आ रही हैं, टेक्नोलॉजी जिस तरह उभर के आ रही है, उनको एक कंपनी एक प्रोसेस या स्ट्रक्चर तरीके से अडॉप्ट करे, उनको एवेल्युएट करे और उसके बाद उसको इंप्लीमेंट करे।
I would like to welcome once again back to the class. And how did you feel being from the IT side, aligning it with the business side, bridging it with the process side, and making sure that the people part is also there to deliver? ये सारी चीजें आपस में मैच होके अलाइन होकर ही चलेंगी। और इस पर्सपेक्टिव में फिर अब हम आपकी जो मुलाकात नेक्स्ट करवाएंगे वो उनके हेड ऑफ HR से होगी, वाइस प्रेसिडेंट ह्यूमन रिसोर्सेज मिस्टर ताहिर मलिक। इसलिए कि प्रोसेस में भी इन शेप, स्ट्रेटजीज आर ऑल
well designed and developed, who are going to implement them? हमने ये learn किया people. इस केस में people कौन है? Software engineers, programmers, team leads, project managers. They all, number one, have to buy this idea that bhai process have to be documented. Culture has to be changed. And then one has to work according to the documented process. बड़ा मुश्किल काम है आईटी वालों के लिए, लेकिन देखिए ये तो बहुत आसान है आईटी वालों के लिए कि आरएस डॉक्यूमेंट तो वो ऑलरेडी डेवलप करते हैं और उसके बगैर तो डिजाइन बनता, सिस्टम एनालाइज उसके बगैर नहीं होता. लेकिन अब हम तमाम प्रोसेस, तमाम वर्क प्रैक्टिसेस, तमाम टास्क्स एंड एक्टिविटीज को डिफाइन करेंगे. हाउ वी वांट टू डू इट. और बीइंग हेड एचआर, आई वुड लाइक टू आस्क हिम दैट व्हेन द टेक्नोलॉजी चेंज, is there any plan that you would like to make your people learn those new tools and technologies which is the requirement of the market? बल्कि इस पर्सपेक्टिव में मुझे कहने दीजिए, I would like to ask him what is their plan to implement what is called PCMM, People CMM, People Capability Maturity Model. इसका मतलब यह हुआ कि सिस्टम और प्रोसेस के पर्सपेक्टिव में तो CMMI लेवल 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that is there, but this framework already knows that it is not possible without the development and making people mature. तो इस लिहाज से आप नोट कीजिएगा कि वो जो आइडिया हमने लर्न किया इस कोर्स में कि पीपल बिहाइंड द प्रोसेस आर मोर इंपॉर्टेंट, rather as important as the process, because they are the one who design process, they are the one who improve process, they are the one who own process. इस लिहाज से हम आपकी मुलाकात हेड एचआर, वाइस प्रेसिडेंट ऑफ एचआर, सीएमएम लेवल I5 कंपनी मिस्टर ताहिर मलिक से आइए फिर मिलते हैं और उनके ख्यालात और इरशादात को गौर से सुनिए.
आपकी कंपनी ने अभी हाल ही में वर्ल्ड क्लास सीएमएम लेवल 5 अचीव किया. सॉफ्टवेयर इंजीनियर्स, टीम लीड्स, प्रोजेक्ट मैनेजर्स, द टीम ऑफ ऑल दीज पीपल, हाउ डिड यू मैनेज देम टू वर्क इन अ स्पिरिट दैट अचीविंग दिस लेवल ऑफ सीएमएम लेवल 5 वाज पॉसिबल?
कंपनीज जो ये लेवल अचीव कर चुकी हैं, दे हैड द राइट एटीट्यूड, अ पॉजिटिव एटीट्यूड, जो कि स्टूडेंट्स के लिए ज़रूरी है कि क्वालिटी लेवल और क्वालिटी प्रोडक्ट्स डिलीवर करने के लिए दे शुड हैव द राइट एंड अ पॉजिटिव एटीट्यूड. This is my advice to the students, and when they come into the real world, they should have this attitude in order to achieve the right excellence levels.
Melissa, being a head of the HR, what was the role of your department in developing leadership training, providing technical innovation and career development so that the people working in your company stay motivated and you maintain this level of excellence in the years coming ahead?
In achieving this level of excellence, we were following the CMM processes, and one of the major KPAs, which is at level 3, is the training. हमारी कंपनी जो है वो जो इस पे बहुत ज़्यादा फोकस था कि जो वर्कफोर्स है वो ग्रूम्ड हो, ट्रेंड हो, so that they become instrumental in delivering the required results of excellence. We are now once again focusing on PCMM, which will once again provide us with an opportunity to bring the international levels of excellence and achieve those for the company.
अभी आपने PCMM का नाम लिया. Does that mean it's a people-related standard of CMM to be integrated with the CMMI?
People CMM, once again, is another level of maturity which is integrated with CMM levels. Definitely हमारा aim है कि next level of excellence पे जाएं, और इसके अलावा भी हम बहुत सारे और लेवल ऑफ एक्सीलेंस की तरफ ख़ास तवज्जो दे रहे हैं, जिसमें ISO 8001 जो हमारे हेल्थ एंड सेफ्टी स्टैंडर्ड्स की तरफ भी हमें ला रहा है. These are the things that we are trying to achieve, or we as a company we want to be the leaders in all fields which we have been so far.
Welcome back, ji, my dear students. This was our third interview, and I'm sure you have learned what Mr. Tariq Malik had to say. He is also working with the company for many years and has a plan to implement the PCMM levels also, so that people are aligned with the process. अब नेक्स्ट जो हम आपकी मुलाकात करवाना चाहते हैं, he is the real manager and actor and engineer, Mr. Furqan, who first learned what these levels are. First, he made himself aware that why ISO 9001 is not delivering what it's supposed to deliver, especially in the IT sector. Because ISO 9001 is a bit biased towards the manufacturing sector. IT sector में implement करने के लिए उन्होंने guideline तो develop की, लेकिन CMM has come up with much more mature framework. And in the global market, especially in the IT sector, companies working and achieving this target of CMM recognition are given more respect and recognition as compared to ISO. So Mr. Furqan, first he learned himself how to develop those processes which will satisfy the requirement of KPAs given by CMMI, given by Software Engineering Institute. Then within each KPA, what were the key work practices, goals, features, and how things were implemented. तो आपकी फिर हम मुलाकात करवा रहे हैं हेड ऑफ क्वालिटी इंजीनियरिंग मिस्टर फुरकान खान.
फुरकान साहब, आप जरा काइंडली हमारे स्टूडेंट्स को ये बताइए कि Number one, while talking of quality, there is an international standard known as ISO 9001. And now in the IT sector, we are discussing CMM level 5, which your company just has achieved the award. बल्कि हमें अभी ये भी मालूम हुआ कि आपकी कंपनी को बेस्ट एम्प्लॉयर अवार्ड भी लेटली मिला है. तो हमारे स्टूडेंट्स ISO के पर्सपेक्टिव में ऑलरेडी प्रोसेस फोकस और उसकी इंपॉर्टेंस को अच्छी तरह से समझ रहे हैं. एंड दे हैव आल्सो लर्न दैट बेसिकली प्रोडक्ट इज अ फंक्शन ऑफ प्रोसेस. तो काइंडली सीएमएम के पर्सपेक्टिव में कुछ की प्रोसेस एरियाज जिन्हें हम केपीएस कहते हैं, उनकी कुछ स्टूडेंट्स के साथ अपनी प्रैक्टिसेस और नॉलेज को शेयर कीजिए, और फिर ये जो वेरियस केपीआईज हैं ये किस तरह से उनके गोल्स को आप डिफाइन करते हैं और वर्क प्रैक्टिसेस के साथ इंटीग्रेट करके उन गोल्स को अचीव करते हैं.
Thank you very much, Dr. Saab. First of all, I would like to take you from ISO 9001 to the CMMI, and definitely ISO 9001 provides you a framework for quality management system, the very essential elements of a quality management system. But CMMI is also a process improvement framework, but that takes you a step forward. And how does it do so? It provides you enough guidelines, the best practice across the industry, especially in IT industry, and gives you focus on certain process areas at different maturity levels. So maturity level is basically an evolutionary plateau for process improvement in any organization. And every maturity level has certain set of process areas within that maturity level that you can say characterize the organizational maturity at that maturity level. So, for example, if you take maturity level 2, in which we have 7 process areas, and that characterize an organization as working with managed processes. And if you take along to the next level, that is maturity level 3, the organization has institutionalized the defined processes across the organization, having around 13 process areas in that maturity level. And from there onward, if you take along maturity level 4, there are another 2 process areas, and that takes the organization at the level of quantitatively managing the processes. And from there, the highest level of maturity, that is maturity level 5, that refers to continuously improving the organization processes or optimizing level. So that is, you can say, a pathway that is guided by the CMMI as compared to ISO 9001. It gradually helps you to develop the maturity of the organization and takes you at a high level of excellence. For example, I would like to share with you the structure of CMMI, how does it help you, and how it is different from ISO 9001. CMMI, for example, take an example of requirement management process area at maturity level 2. The main components of this process area are specific goals and generic goals. Specific goals are basically very specific or particular to a process area that reside. And for example, in requirement management, the specific goal number 1 says requirements are managed and inconsistencies between requirements, project plans, and workforce are identified. So this specific goal is set forth by CMI process area of requirement management. And it does not stop there. It guides you how to achieve this goal through specific practices. It has 5 specific practices, and they are supported by guidelines in the form of sub-practices. I would just take you along with these 5 practices. The first one says obtain understanding of the requirements. And it does have information like you have to identify the requirements provider, you have to identify the criteria for acceptance of requirements, and you have to analyze the requirements that they fulfill the criteria of acceptance of requirement. And finally, you get an agreed upon set of requirements in place. Now, going to the next practice, that is saying obtain commitment to the requirements, so that the people involved in the project are able to work on these project requirements to deliver the project. Next practice says manage changes to the requirements. That means if there is any change during the life cycle of the project, then changes must be captured and they must be tracked till closure of successful change management. And next practice says maintain biodirection traceability, and that ensures relationship of all the work products produced during the life cycle. That helps you analyze the problems and impacts of the changes if they happen during the project. And lastly, it asks that you must be having certain practices in place to identify the inconsistencies between the requirements, the product plans, and the work products produced. So these are specific practices guiding you how to achieve the specific goals. Once you have achieved the specific goal, that means you have implemented all these practices with all the guidelines that are associated with these. The next part of that is called generic goal. While specific goal is helping you implement the process main, you can say, objective, the generic goal basically helps you institutionalize the process in the organization. That helps you getting the process more mature. That means it's the way you work in this organization. And that comes from, you can say, different generic practices. For example, you have to have a policy related to the process, that what an organization need from you to implement as far as this process area is concerned. And secondly, you have to plan the activities related to any process area, that is, plan the process. Third practice says that you must provide resources, both human and non-human resources, like tools, templates, formats, etc. Next practice says assign responsibilities. And after that, you have to train the people who have been assigned to perform this process. And next practice says that you must be managing the configuration of the work parts produced in this part, so that you have a visibility of what is produced and what is the current status of these work parts. And you have to identify and involve all relevant stakeholders to be involved in this process activities. And after that, you have to monitor the performance of this process throughout its execution and take corrective action as needed. Next, you have to ensure that someone independently evaluating whether the process description standards and formats have been followed in performing this process or not. And finally, the results and status of this process performance must be reviewed with the senior management that is independent of the project. So that is kind of an institutionalization that refers to, you can say, with reference to CMM, common features, ability to perform, directing implementation, commitment to perform, and verifying implementation. So that is how CMMI is different from ISO 9001.
खान साहब अभी आपने ये फरमाया कि लेवल 4 पे one of the KPAs is quantitative management of data, and one of the total quality principle is that you must manage by facts. जरा kindly हमारे स्टूडेंट्स को ये बताइए कि how often the quality tools were implemented and used and deployed while removing the defects or preventing from the defects while implementing the CMM high level 4 or 5.
In this regard, I would like to say that it has two processes here. One focus on quantitative project management that refers to a project's activities, and second one is called organization process performance. So CMI requires you both at project level as well as organization level that you must be applying statistical process control technique to understand the processes and their performance quantitatively and take corrective action on a factual basis. How it happens? Basically, you have all the data, or rather, in the first place, you have to set the quantitative quality and process performance objectives at organizational level, and you have to collect data against these objectives from different products. And that sets the baseline for the organization that can be used to compare any product's performance with the current organization baseline performance. So that is the organization part. And that also helps you to develop the process performance model that helps you estimating, predicting, and manipulating any particular product parameters, planning parameters. So the other part, that is quantitative product management, that is very specific to a project, in which a project is required to set up the quantitative quality and process performance objective with respect to the project itself. And then they have to identify what processes need to be statistically controlled in detail. And for that reason, they have to perform statistical process control techniques, and they can use statistical quality control techniques like control charts, vector diagram, histograms, correlation chart, and other techniques that helps you identify the, you can say, the special cause of variation, and they are being eliminated from the process execution so that they do not occur in future. So that's a maturity level 4 characteristics.
आखिरी क्वेश्चन फुरकान साहब मैं आपसे पूछना चाहूंगा कि how did you manage the attitude of the team members who are working with you to get them along on board to follow the processes and to develop a culture which will ultimately help you to achieve this CMM level 5?
This is a very important question because this is where most of the organization fail. And we did have some problem in the beginning to get the involvement and commitment from the people within the organization at different levels. We learn our lesson and we strategize ourselves in a way that is more close to the cultural requirements of our organization, and that's how we tackle the cultural aspect. But I would like to talk about this. What was that? Basically, you have to consider that what people think about this change, and that is very important. You have to wear the shoes. You have to be in the shoes of managers, you have to be in the shoes of developers, and you have to be in the shoes of management and so on. And that's how you are going to understand how do they feel about this change. Whether they are afraid of it, or they are reluctant to do it, or they feel afraid of, you can say, failure to this change and so on. So you have to cover all these factors of, you can say, eliminating the fears of all these people, and that is how you take their commitment and involvement into this process improvement initiative. And that is what we did. We did identify the problems, that why project managers are not cooperating. We identify why developers are not producing the results that we want and so on. And then we strategize ourselves in such a way that can help us do the same. This is what I would say that is very important to change the culture of the organization, and that is what happens once you initially start up with this process improvement initiative, whether it is ISO 9001 or whether it is CMI.
जी, तो अजीज तलबा और तालिबात, आपने फिर फुरकान खान साहब की बातें सुनी और मैंने खासी डिटेल में ये चाहा कि वो आपको प्रोसेस की डिटेल्स बताएं। आया वो इन टूल्स को भी यूज करते हैं, प्रोसेस की प्रैक्टिसेस को कल्चरल चेंज के साथ कितना आसान था उनके लिए, ये भी आपने नोट किया। और फिर आपने महसूस किया कि अचीविंग एन अवार्ड, अचीविंग ए टारगेट मे बी डिफिकल्ट बट नॉट इम्पॉसिबल, यू हैव टू मेक इट हैपन। और मैं अमूमन कहा करता हूं और मैं फिर दोबारा कहता हूं कि पीपल लाइक यू, regardless in what sector you work, given us a framework, maybe a word framework, to become a world-class company, I think we have the will to do it. बल्कि मुझे कहने दीजिए इस मौके पर, क्योंकि खुशी का मौका है कि अगर पाकिस्तान के लेवल पर हमारी वर्ल्ड क्लास लेवल पर क्रिकेट की टीम जानी जाती है, वर्ल्ड क्लास लेवल पर हमारे स्पोर्टिंग गुड्स, टेक्सटाइल गुड्स, सर्जिकल गुड्स जाने जाते हैं, वर्ल्ड क्लास लेवल पर पाकिस्तान की वो बच्ची पहचानी जाती है और जानी जाती है कि जो इस छोटी एज के अंदर वन ऑफ द बेस्ट आईटी प्रोफेशनल, और फिर पाकिस्तान के अंदर सारे वेदर्स, सारी कंडीशंस, सारे रिसोर्सेज मौजूद हैं, आप भी मौजूद हैं। तो यह नामुमकिन नहीं है कि अगर मैन्युफैक्चरिंग, सर्विसेज, एजुकेशन और दूसरे सेक्टर्स ऑफ इकोनॉमी के अंदर आप अगर डिटरमिन कर लें, रिजॉल्व कर लें, तो यह मुमकिन ना हो सके। तो इसी तवक्को के साथ, इसी ख्वाहिश के साथ इस इंटरव्यू को और इस सेशन को हम क्लोज करते हैं, वाइंड अप करते हैं। और मैं आपसे तवक्को भी करता हूं कि जो कहा गया उसको सुनने के बाद अपने नोट्स के साथ कंपेयर कीजिए और फिर उसमें से कुछ अपने लिए लेसन लर्न, बेस्ट प्रैक्टिसेस, फ्यूचर के पर्सपेक्टिव में आपके लिए उसमें सबक क्या है, आपकी कंपनी के लिए सबक क्या है, और जब आपको मौका मिलेगा तो हाउ आर यू गोइंग टू डू इट। बट वन थिंग इज फॉर श्योर, आई एम सर्टन दैट इंशाअल्लाह यू कैन डू इट। सो विद दीज फ्यू वर्ड्स, लेट्स मेक दिस सेशन ओवर। खुदा हाफिज, एंड आई विल सी यू इन द नेक्स्ट सेशन। अंटिल देन, अस्सलाम वालेकुम।